What up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome back to another live stream. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank y'all so much for tuning in once again. So I am back, you guys. Thank y'all so much for being here. Happy Friday. I hope y'all are enjoying your weekend, and I hope all is well with each and every one of you guys that are watching this. As you come into the building, per usual, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button. That is super, super important. Go ahead and thumbs up the stream, you guys. That absolutely helps the channel out, helps to push these videos and streams into the algorithm. So make sure you guys are hitting the like button as you come into the building. That would definitely help a sister out. So shout out to all of you guys watching, everybody in the building. Successful MD, what's going on? What's going on, Fourth Dimension? How are you? I hope all is well. Thank you so much for being here, sir. Hustle the Great. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate y'all so much. As you come into the building, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. All right. So we're gonna hop right into this topic. Before we do, make sure you are subscribed to my second channel, you guys. The link should be in the description box. Make sure you go over and subscribe to the second channel as well. Also, hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos or post lives. Make sure you guys have that turned on. And if you happen to be new to the channel and you like the content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe. All right. So make sure you subscribe and like the stream. So, yeah, we're going to jump right into it. You guys see the title, right? So the real solutions to dealing with modern women. And then it says, give them what they want. Now, we're going to get into it because I know what y'all are probably thinking, give them what they want. Okay. But this is going to speak to what a lot of women really want. What do women really want? Because it seems to me the things that they're saying contradicts what they actually go for, or what contradicts what they actually do. You know how we hear a bunch of women say, oh, I want a good man, and I want this, and I want an emotionally intelligent man, and I want a man, with all of these qualifications and things like that. But for some reason, they don't end up with those types of men. And those aren't the type of men that they want to settle down with or have children with, because we've seen it. It's been exposed. We know for a fact that a lot of these women who say they want these certain types of men actually go for something different. And that is the real problem as to why a lot of these women aren't getting what they want, because they know what they're portraying in one way on social media is not what they really go for, what they really look for in real life. And so it goes back to that idea of this Tupac with the suit type thing. Well, and once again, I'll stress this too. This is why you hear a lot of women say they will not settle, because they don't want to settle for what they're not physically attracted to. And that goes into all of this rhetoric that we see on social media, all of the things that they're saying, and also downplaying and dissing Black men, and also claiming that there aren't any good men out here, but it's not really the good men that they really want. And they've proven it. So I have a clip I want to share with you guys, and then we're going to kind of get into it. And I want you to chime in. Make sure you chime in the chat. I want to hear your thoughts on this. And it kind of speaks to my point, and also what women are displaying and what they're showing. It's like, on one hand, they know what type of guy will be the best fit for them and for their futures, but that is not the type of men that they actually go for. So what do men have to do in this situation? So we're going to talk about it. Y'all chime in. I definitely want to hear y'all thoughts on this one because it speaks to why the dating pool is the way it is, and why a lot of modern women contradict themselves every single day. They contradict themselves on what it is that they want, what they can't find, and why they can't get it, along with their own personal issues, their own personal attitudes, and their own personal lack thereof of accountability that they possess. It's just a lot going on with them that they're not ready to address. And also they're speaking things that they know they don't really want. And I'm going to tell you why. But before we get into that, let's pull up this clip. Now, this is an old clip that that surfaced, and I wanted to share it with y'all to get your thoughts on it, to kind of speak to this point. Here it is.
Women really want.
I don't care what they want. I only care what they respond to. See, my focus is a little bit different from your other guests. There's what women say they want, there's what women think they want, and then there's what they actually respond to. I'm not an academic, I'm not a theoretician, I'm interested in what works on the street when it's time to date and mate. And what women actually respond to is not what they say they want.
So what do they respond to?
They really respond to a guy who's a challenge, a guy who's a question mark, a guy who keeps them guessing. You see, in the beginning, the less attractive you are physically, the more you have to rely on your attitude.
So no more Mr. Nice Guy.
You can be pleasant. You see, we've got to define our terms. By nice, I mean accommodating. When you accommodate, you get what the commode gets. You get the crapola. You have to learn how to say no to a woman.
Or this attitude that you now have is more appealing to women?
The attitude is vastly more appealing.
Now, did y'all hear what he said? What he said is, just to sum it up, is that women don't want what they say they want. It's just a talking point. It's just something, to make them feel good about themselves, to make men think that men should be doing X, Y, and Z in order to get the women that are out there. And we've proven it and shown it over and over and over again. This is why there's an issue when it comes to dating, because women have chosen. And once again, let me say this for the people way in the back. It's not all women, but for the ones who it applies to. It's not all women. If it doesn't apply to you, let it fly. But for the type of women who have these unrealistic expectations, but they already have 4 kids, 4 baby daddies, look at the type of men that they chose to have these babies with. Now, we don't want to look at the aftermath because, of course, everybody is going to justify their choices. They're going to justify what was wrong with the man. If you notice, all of the men that they chose to have kids with, who they didn't require much from, something's now wrong with them. They're narcissists, they're controlling, they're this, they're that, but you chose them. And every last one of them, there's an issue. So that speaks more to not them, but speaks to you in your decision making, your choices, the way you go about choosing men. But the thing that they have in common is the type of men that they chose. That's why they kept choosing the same type of man over and over and over again. And somehow it's still his fault and none of your fault for how you chose. But it shows you what they look for. Look at we could line up the Pookies and the Ray Rays, the guys that they chose. We can line them up, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be something in common with all of those guys. They all are probably the same type, the type that she's attracted to. This is why the type is so major when it comes to women and picking men. The type is all the same. The physical aesthetic is probably the same. The way, who they are, where they come from is all the same. And that just shows you that women have a type, right? So that's the type that they're looking for, but they want an upgraded type. They want a guy who has the aesthetics that they're attracted to. They want that swag or whatever it is that they're looking for in these guys. The guy who is, like the man said, a mystery, a thrill, meaning somebody who don't give a shit about life that much. They go out and do whatever it is they want. The majority of them been arrested, that thug life. They kind of, on the rough side of, town and got that edge to them. This is what attracts a lot of women. And women, they say it, and they tell you they've exposed it all. And this is not a new thing. This has been, since I was young, this is all, women go for the bad boys. This is the aesthetic of a man that they like, but they want him to be faithful. They want him to be just, a responsible man. They want him to go and get a job, level up, make a lot of money. They want him to take them seriously. They want him to marry them and focus on only them. And to be honest, that type of guy is not the guy for that. And I think this is what they're waiting for. This is what they will not settle for less, because they're waiting and holding out with the hopes of manifesting this Tupac in a suit, honey. They're looking for this guy that meets their every needs. He is the man they like. He's their type. He got that swag. He move and dress. He got the beard that connects just like they want. They want all of that. They want him to be responsible, faithful. They want him to be everything that they've ever dreamed of, like the fairy tale, that their wish will come true, that their man, their match, their soulmate is going to be manifested, and that's what they're looking for. So when you hear women say they will not settle, this is what they don't want to settle for. They don't want to settle for the guy who isn't all of that. So when you meet a guy, even though you hear women saying, I want 6 figures, 6-pack, he got to be this, he got to make this kind of money, he got to level up, he got to pay all my bills. They know deep down inside that they're not going to find that, because that's not what they want. Because the guy who has that, he may not have that aesthetic package that they're looking for. Even though he could be tall, he could be 6 feet, make 6 figures, have all of that. But when they meet this guy, he's not really the same guy that they're used to. He has the qualities that they want, but he still is not the Pookie and Ray Ray type that they are attracted to. They like these guys. They like everything about them. They just want them to be the 6-figure guy that they will consider the nerd. You don't want him to be the nerd. You want him to have the attributes of the Pookie, but you want him to have the nerd mentality, to be faithful, take care of you, and all of this. They want the full package, and they can't find it because it doesn't exist without them going outside of that specific type that they are looking for. So what do men, what's the solution to all of this? What do men do in all of this? How do men respond to this? What are men supposed to be doing with this information? So there's a couple of things. So, and this is what a lot of men are tending to do now. They're just walking away. Some men are just like walking away. They're just like, nah, I'll pass. I see the foolishness. I see the train wreck, and I don't want no parts of it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to live my life, level up, get my stuff together, and I don't even want to look their way. I'm not even trying to date these hyenas. I'm walking the other way. So there are men who are choosing to do that. There are men who are choosing to stay in the dating market. You know, they still want to give it a chance. They still want to try to meet somebody, right? So we already know, look, you can weed out these types of women easily. Just pay attention to them. Listen to the first things that come out of their mouth. Look at what's most important to them, what they talk about, and you can weed out the hyena right away. You really don't have to be it's really not a whole lot keeping you from seeing the behavior, because they expose it right away, right? Also, we talk about chameleons, women who fake the funk, women who pretend or portray like they're feminine and that they're, about you and all of these things. And they can play that role for quite some time until they get tired when they see you're not giving in. So that's another way. You want to deal with somebody, you're not sure, just date her. Just date her. Don't spend a whole lot of money on her. And that's going to let you know what she's about right there. That's one way to know who you're dealing with. If she's coming off with this entitlement, this entitled mindset, this entitled attitude, like you need to be doing this because look at me. I'm so beautiful and I'm this and that. You're supposed to want to spend money on me and all of this. If she's coming off that way, boom, you know right away that is not the woman for you. Now, you could walk away, leave her alone. If you ain't for the shits and giggles, leave it alone, walk away. But if you want to entertain that, there's a way to do it. Talk to her, figure her out, don't spend no whole lot of money on her. Don't give her what she wants. Because the thing about it is, they are playing games. These types of women, it's not all women, but for the ones who are playing these games, they will stay there and pretend as long as they think that you're going to give them what they want. But they're not going to be able to stay there and pretend for too long if you're not giving them what they want. So they giving you a run for your money and you giving them a run for their time. So if she's there and you don't know if she's a chameleon or not, play the long game, play with it if you want to do that. Otherwise, just leave them alone. If you don't want to do that, leave them alone. You won't have to waste your time and you can go about your business. But if they want to play the game, you can either play the game with them as well. Don't spend no money on them. Talk to them. See where they head at. Just play with them. And eventually she going to keep pressing. Hey, you need to do this. Why won't you do this? And all this and all. And you constantly, act like you don't know what she's talking about. Constantly ignore that. Constantly say, nah, I ain't doing that or whatever. And then she going to weed herself out, child. She going to weed herself out. She ain't going to know what else to do. Because when she realized, that, you're not giving her to what she wants, she's going to remove herself because this is a waste of her time. So that's another way. If you think a woman is a chameleon, child, the only thing that you can do as a man is either walk away or play the long game with them just to see. Because you will see, because she's not going to be able to keep dealing with you, because she got to get coins. She got to get to the coins. She got to get to the bag. She got to get to the money. So she's not going to want to deal with you if you're not really giving her what she wants. But if she thinks she can, she'll keep trying. But the minute she realizes, oh, it ain't happening, then you're going to see she's going to be ready to go out. And when she does, let her go. Say adios, because you know what she's about. That's one way to do it. Successful MD says lunatics delve in repetitive and stupid behavior. Exactly. Thank you for the super chat, Successful MD. I appreciate you. Thai Boxing 67 says the Tupac in a suit they want came from a broken home, raised by an emotionally broken woman with no male figure in the house. Exactly. And the same as them. See, and this is the thing. I thank you for the super chat, Thai Boxing 67. A lot of the women have come from those same broken homes. That's why they can relate. See, you want a guy who might be emotionally distraught or challenged or have issues, because you have them as well. As much as women like to point it out towards men that men are broken, they're broken too. They both come from the same homes. They come from the same broken home. So both of you are broken and traumatized. And this is why they go to those guys as well. This is why when you find a guy who has the six figures, has the six pack, all this stuff that they want, they still can't measure up. The women still can't measure up because they're intimidated by that type of guy. Know why? Because 9 times out of 10, either he's come from a broken home, but he's worked on himself and built himself up to a point where he's beyond that and he's successful, or he came from a 2-parent household that was stable and he was, given the tools that was needed to be successful, and he's successful. They have a different way of thinking. The man who was broken but built himself up don't want to be drugged back into that same mentality, because he knows how detrimental it is to his livelihood and his success. So now he's taken on a different mentality, and he knows better, and he doesn't want to deal with anybody who's going to jeopardize his mentality, all the work that he's put in, and how he's gotten himself to a better place. So those men don't want a woman who's going to jeopardize their peace. You know what I'm saying? So they're not going to put up with your BS. They're not going to deal with all the stuff that these women want to bring to these men. They're going to leave you alone and keep it moving. So they're not prepared for that guy, because he's going to be confident. He's confident. He's going to be stern in his beliefs. He's going to be steadfast in what he believes and not deal with the foolishness. So you don't really want that kind of guy. You want to, you feel some type of connection. Well, they feel a connection to the guy in the hood, the guy who was raised by a single mother, who's experienced trauma in his life, who's been through hardships and things of that nature. And he hasn't been able to heal, and he's still operating from that place. They have a connection there. This is part of why they go there. You know how they say women like to pick a project? They want somebody that they feel they can fix. That is a real thing. They really say they don't want, that type of guy, but they gravitate to him because it is something that they can relate to. See, a lot of these women who like to say, I want a man that's whole. I want him to come to the table whole, and because you're not. You're not. You know that you're not, and you think getting somebody who will help fix you. No, what it'll do is you'll drag him down. You'll drag him back to where he's come from. And any person, male or female, who has worked hard to build themselves up, don't want somebody to come in and just take and drain them and drag them backwards. No, you want to grow together. You want to grow with the person. It's not about somebody coming into it all healed and whole, because none of us are. But you definitely want somebody who's going to add and to your life, and somebody who's going to bring positivity, somebody who's going to bring something that's beneficial to the both of you, somebody who's going to, level you up, where you level up together, not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually, and all of it. Somebody who's going to add to you, somebody who's going to compliment you, and somebody who's going to work with you, where you guys work together to build yourselves together. Not somebody coming in trying to belittle you and put you down and tell you, oh, you think you are this because of this and that. Because this is what I find too. Women who date guys who have more than what they have, it irritates a lot of these women. And you'll be like, girl, what are you saying? Like, oh, so these women say they want these men with all these things, but you notice when they come across confident men, just watch Pop the Balloon. Just watch all these shows. Just watch, look at Kendra G. Just watch all of them where the guys who come on there confident, have their stuff together. You look, pay attention to the comments. You hear these women saying, oh, I don't know if I could date him because he look like he'll try to put me in my place, or he look like he'll try to, like, you know, what they say, belittle me or something. They are not prepared for the type of men that they say they want. Goes back to the video clip. These women don't know what they want. And what they do is they say one thing and they do another. That is quite a normal thing for a lot of women, to say one thing and do something else. Your actions do not align with what you say it is you want, because you don't really know. So what happens when people don't really know what they want? They go to something that's familiar. They go to something that's familiar. And the thing that's familiar to them is what's familiar in their community. And it's the guys that y'all would consider Pookies and Ray Rays, the guys who have been traumatized, the guy that needs some fixing. They have a connection there. And the connection is y'all come from the same place. Even though he's not, you know, financially stable, he can't give you all the other stuff that you expect from these other men. There's still a connection there. The connection is, one, he is your type. Y'all come from the same place. Y'all come from the same brokenness. But he has that street edge that you like. He's aesthetically pleasing to you. That's what you like. You know, according to the women, he can put it on you real good. So that's another thing that they like. And so even though, you know, he's not specifically the thing that you're saying you want on social media, he's what you run to. This is why that man in that clip said, and that was an old clip, I'm sure, you know, you can't go by what these women say, but what they do. Their actions don't align with what they say. So that's why you can't really pay attention to what they say, because they say anything for clout and for social media. But in the real world, you have educated women who have bachelor's and master's degrees, fooling with a dude that they are physically attracted to, that don't have none of the stuff that they say they would need from a man in a relationship, child. And this is where men are saying it. They're telling you, hey, I've heard men say they've met educated women, you know, that you would look at and you'd be like, oh my God, she's out of your league. She wouldn't even give you a time of day. And yes, she would. You know, they've made movies on this stuff. You see, you're over here sleeping with a guy who does not meet any of the qualities you say you want from a man, but you're sleeping with him. You're giving him your time. Because that's familiar to a lot of these women. And they won't really be honest about it, because they know if they could get Tupac in a suit, that's going to be their pick. That's going to be what they run to, and all that other stuff will go out the window, because he's not going to be required to have these six figures. He's not going to be required to have none of these things that these women say they want from a man on social media. He's going to be able to be who he is, and she will give all of her time and resources and everything to him, because he is what she wants. And we've seen it happen over and over and over again. But the solution for men is to either, like I said, you have a couple of options. Walk away, ignore these women, play the game with them. Do not give these women money, because that's what they're looking for. They're not really looking for solid, stable relationships with the guys that are considered good guys or stable guys. They want to play with the stable guys, and they want to go and be with the hood dudes, because that's what they know. So they don't really care about marriage like a lot of them say, in my opinion, because you know Pookie ain't gonna marry you. You know he's a good side piece of a man. You know that what you want from him, and it's not a money requirement. It's not a take me to these expensive restaurants requirement. You will sit in your car and eat McDonald's with him because he's aesthetically pleasing to you. Physically, you're physically attracted to him. You can kind of, you feel like you can level up on him. He could come to your place and, screw you real good, and you okay with that because there's some comfort there. But in reality, you know that you need help financially. You need help. You want things to look a certain way to the public. You want a man that's pleasing to your friends. You want a man that you can upstage or look. You want people to look at you and say, "Oh, girl, you got a good man, girl. Oh, he doing this for you. He doing that for you." That's where the fantasy comes in. but you know he can't do that for you. So you're not really comfortable with showing him because you're usually taking care of him. See what I'm saying? So now this is why this goes into why the man has to look a certain way. He has to have a certain kind of job because it's what looks good to everybody else. He can't be a plumber. He can't be a garbage truck driver. He can't be, none of those things. He has to have a job that looks good to the public, to your friends and your family. It has to look a certain way. So he has to be a CEO of his own company, wear a suit and tie, and he has to be well put together to be seen with you. But when you really look at that type of guy, you got to understand that he's not going to want to be with you. You're not going to be his cup of tea. You're not going to be his cup of tea. So, the bottom line is you can't, either you can try or play around or fake to be what these women are looking for. You can take that route. The thing is, you shouldn't rush to like jump into a serious relationship with these women till you really figure out who they are. You shouldn't be committing to a woman that you don't really know what she's fully about. You definitely shouldn't be paying her bills. You shouldn't be paying for these expensive dates. There's nothing wrong with taking somebody out on a date and paying for it, but let it be the place that you pick. And if that's not good enough, then boom, they're going to let you know, hey, this ain't the person for you. And I think a lot of men get it. This is why they're looking the other way. They're like, nah, we're not going to deal with these hyenas, child. We're not trying to deal. We ain't even paying them no mind. We could care less. A lot of men are like, we don't care. A lot of men have already checked out. I'll say it. A lot of men have already checked out. And they're not trying to deal with these women. So there's ways to go about it. And there are some men who are playing the games right along with these women and getting what they want out of them. And this is where you find women complaining about men ghosting them after they get the draws. You get the draws and you ghost. Because when men do that, in my opinion, y'all let me know, they're not taking you seriously. And there's a reason why, because they either can peep your game. They know you're not, serious. They know that you're out here trying to gain something from a man. You're not really serious about relationships. So they play along. So once they know that, they play along with you. They're not taking you seriously and they playing right with you. But the thing about it is when women get played, they don't like that too much. They don't accept being played, but they are a lot of them are always playing the games themselves. So as long as they're doing it and as long as they're getting what they want out of it, it's okay. But when men play the same game with them, then they don't like it. Then all men ain't ish and all men aren't this. But women play the same games men have played. And, I think men are aware of it and it's harder for them to play these games. So they have to kind of create different strategies to try to get what it is they want. So the one strategy we all know that they use is shaming men, trying to shame the men into submission, shame them into taking these women off and that's doing the opposite. It's not working the way they want it to work. It's not making these men say, oh yeah, okay, as men, yeah, we're supposed to be paying their bills when we meet them and all this. We're supposed to be doing this when we meet them. No, they're just going the opposite way. And so their plan is backfiring. It's not working. So I think nowadays, men get it. I think a lot of men are getting it. A lot of men are realizing that this is a game and either you can play the game with them, accept the fact that this is modern society and this is modern women and this is how they are. And there's nothing nobody can really do to change that. And the only thing that you can do is either respond to the changes, ignore the changes, walk away, or play the game with them. Because honestly, the ball is in your court. Because if women are out here looking for men to pay for this lifestyle, do all these things for them, and men are saying, nah, we're not doing that. You might be a nice person. We could chill, but we ain't spending, $400 on a meal. We ain't doing this. I'm not paying you. I'm not doing none of that. They're going to be forced to either get it together or they're going to just have to go their own ways too. So look, it is what it is. It's happening either way. Either they're going to have to shape up or ship out. If you don't want to go into something meaningful and really establish a relationship with the person, then there's gonna be no way for you to establish anything with anybody. So you're gonna have to do your own thing. And you hear women saying, "Oh, I'm single by choice." A lot of times you're not. You're single because you have no options. and because men don't want to be with you. And if anything, they'll sex you down and then leave you alone, because that's all that you seem to be worth. Because you think that you're worth everything in 10 bags of chips, and you think men should see you that way. But when you open your mouth and start talking, then men see exactly what you're about, and they realize, oh no, this ain't it. This ain't it. Successful MD says, I don't want to play with Pookie's remnants. I got you. Thank you, Successful MD. I understand. Thank you for the super chat. Totally understand. You know, and it's unfortunate, but that's just what it is. That's just what it is. What's going on, Foundation Black? Bring it all to me. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Isaiah, what's going on? Yeah, it's just it's unfortunate, but that is the position that people who are out here dating are dealing with, you know. And I remember Palmer saying something about the liberated woman. He had a really good point. Like, a lot of these women this is just who they are. And I think men have come to terms that this is what it is. The same way I've had men on the panel say they thought all women were just innocent and all women were just, women, they're women. And, and it came as a shock to a lot of men at one point that this is not all women. These women can be ruthless. They can be evil, liars, all of it. They're not innocent. They're not innocent as men thought they were. And I think now, men have come to the realization that, hey, women can be conniving if they want to. And a lot of these men who have been in marriages and relationships with these women realize, look, when these women get mad and they bitter, and when you walking away, oh my God, they're gonna bring you hell. And a lot of men have experienced that, and so I think a lot of men have been, privy to this type of behavior and these types of women, and they realize what it is, and they don't want to ever have to deal with that again. So now you have a bunch of men who've dealt with these types of hyenas, and they're like, nah, I'm not putting myself in that situation ever again. And so now they're moving a certain way, and it's causing the hyenas who are left out here to become frustrated. Now they're crying. Now they don't know what to do. They're panicking because you don't have these super simps who are just taking care of you. A lot of these women relied on these super simps. A lot of these women, they banked on the fact that these men didn't know any better and that they could, mess over these dudes, and they knew they could get their rent money out of Pookie, or not Pookie, child. Nope, they get their rent money out of somebody else who was unsuspecting, who did not know. And I don't think they just walked around wanting to be played. No, these women knew what they were doing, and the men didn't have no idea what was going on. Really thought that they had a good one. Really thought that they had somebody who was in their corner, and these women were just messing them over, using them for their finances while they sleeping with Pookie and Ray, and playing this dude playing this dude the whole time. And so a lot of men have actually experienced that. Men have definitely come out and said how wives either cheated on them, had babies with whole other dudes and stuff like that. That's horrible. And the more you talk to men, you hear these same stories. And women like to talk about men cheating, but you never want to address the fact that women cheat just as much. But there's a justification for them cheating. Oh, he made her cheat. But the same can't be said about a man if he cheats, even if the woman is withholding, even if you're married to him and you're withholding sex from him for months and months. This man get no loving from you. And then he go out and cheat. Oh, but he can't say, oh, you drove him to cheat. He can't say that. When you're actually holding something away from him, that's supposed to be for him. But if he goes out and step out and cheat and get something because you're withholding, oh, there's still an excuse for that. Oh, there's no excuse for you going out and doing it. But then there's an excuse for women who do it. Make that make sense. So that type of thinking is what's driving a wedge between relationships and men and women, because nobody wants to deal with that. Men are tired. Women like to talk about how tired they are. Yeah, y'all ought to be. Y'all put yourselves in those predicaments. You ought to be tired. But you put yourself there, so you got to get yourself out. You can't just go out here and be reckless. Like I always say and put yourself in these predicaments, make yourself a statistic and turn around and complain. And the same men you're bashing and complaining about, somehow you want that same group of men to come in and rescue you, or any man to come in and rescue you and take on all of your issues. And then you want the most, you're not even grateful for a man who would be willing to do that. You want the top tier man to come in as if he owes you something, as if this is something you're entitled to it. Your attitude is so stank. You think that this man owed you something because you went out and became single mothers and you didn't require marriage, and the guys you had babies with didn't want to be fathers and didn't want to get a job and take care of their responsibility. That's not nobody else's fault. And that's what seems to be the narrative. They're trying to push level-headed, stable men to come and take on all of their responsibilities. Hell to the no. And men are saying no. And ain't no amount of shaming in the world that will make a stable man want to come in and do all of that. That's a major responsibility. Paul Harrison, what's going on? How are you, sir? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the generous super chat. Says, hey, DeeDee, happy Friday. I think that the fellas need to adopt the saying, we're not going to settle. We don't want the overweight boss chick, 6, 7 kids by 9 different daddies and bag chasers. Child, yeah, thank you for the super chat. Exactly. And I think men are saying it. Honestly, they're showing them better than they can tell them. And if they weren't, you wouldn't see a whole bunch of women, single mothers, complaining about that exact fact. You know what I mean? They're out here complaining. Men, why wouldn't you want a strong, a good woman? All of that just because she has kids. Well, simply because most men don't want to take care of another man's children. What part of that don't they understand? He doesn't want to take care of somebody else's children, straight up, point blank, and a period. There's no more you need to add to it. Nothing else you can say. That is clear as day. They don't want to take on another man's children, and they don't have to. Your responsibility as a mother with children is to make sure that you create children with men who want to be fathers, who first off should be married to you and responsible enough to take care of the children that y'all created together. So if that doesn't happen now, and you're left holding the bag as the woman, that's on you. That's nobody else's responsibility. No other man shouldn't be shamed because he don't want to do that. He wants to create his own family the way he wants to create it. So I think that's the part that they miss. Thank you once again, Paul. I appreciate you for the super chat. Thank you once again, sir, for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. It's just insane, but like I said, you don't add up the costs. You don't add up the choices that you make with the consequences associated with it. That right there needs to be on a pamphlet or on a sign somewhere to let people know, listen, your choices have consequences. No matter what choice you make in life, there are consequences associated with that. So if you choose to go out, not care about marriage, not care about stable relationships, not care about men who want to be fathers, and you go up and open your legs and give your body to several different men making several different babies, that's on you, honey. That's nobody else's responsibility but yours and the person you made those kids with. And if the people you made the kids with are not there, that's not nobody else's problem. And nobody has to come in and take that on. So if you meet a man who says you and you might be the sweetest pie, you might be a sweetheart, you might be a nice woman, might be a good mother, but that still doesn't negate the fact that men don't want to take on another man's child or children. That's not their child, no matter how. They don't try to guilt trip them and say, oh, well, it's an honorable thing. No, it's an honorable thing to you because it benefits you. It's not an honorable thing to them because it doesn't benefit the men. It's honorable to you single mothers because y'all need the help. It benefits you because you need the help. It doesn't benefit him because then you want him to come in with super expectations. You want him to come in and be Superman, super dad. You want him to come in and just get on your program and come in, but do the most. He has to come in and deal with your kids because first off, that's not an easy thing to come in and be a stepdad. This man has to learn your kids and go through whatever, that process is. He got to hear that he ain't really their daddy and all this kind of stuff because there's multiple daddy. Like, y'all don't understand what men would have to go through. And I say this all the time. Women don't fully understand what men go through. And I will say too, there are men who don't fully understand what women go through as well. But women have no understanding or inkling of what it is to be a man, but they treat men like, and think men supposed to react and do things like women would. And that's just not the nature of men. So you got to stop with all the unrealistic expectations. Stop trying to shame men into taking on you and your kids. That's not their responsibility. Men don't have to do anything. You're not entitled to anything from a man as a woman. A man is not obligated to pay your rent and your bills. You're not his wife. You're not his family. He don't have to give you a dime if he don't want to. And that's not what they're here to do. So for the women who are out here thinking that, a man's supposed to cater to you and give you this and give you that. No, if they want to do it, that's their choice, but they're not obligated and you shouldn't be expecting it. Period. Calvin Cook says, on my way out, chicken heads played out. Thank you so much for the super chat, Calvin. I appreciate you. Successful MD says, even without babies, they are totaled by pookies. Thank you for the super chat to Successful MD once again. I just think it's a lot that needs to be learned, but I think because of the information that's out there, men have an advantage. I think men have an advantage because they realize now, you understand the nature of women. You understand what a lot of these women are up to. You see it off the rip, so you don't have to deal with it. You can completely go another way. You don't have to deal with them. You can walk away. And then there are some who, like I said, some who know how to navigate within that and get what they want. DE says, DeeDee and Crimson do a great job with the women, but only men can fix this. Men have to set a community standard and stop simping. The women and children will adopt it too. We can blame women all day. Yeah, and I think, listen, you're absolutely right. I think that's a great point. I think it will take the men who are simping to stop, because that's the only way that that kind of allows women to keep doing what they're doing. As long as they can find a guy, especially if she's an attractive woman, and if she can find a guy who's going to simp for her, then she's going to take advantage of that. So it's going to take those men to stop doing it as well, to realize, that, for these women to realize that they can't keep expecting these things from these men. The only reason why a lot of these women expect certain things from men, because some of them have been able to finesse men out of said things. A lot of these women have been able to get money out of men and get a man to pay their rent and pay their bills. They've had men who done it. So that's what they think men should be doing, because they've experienced it. And I don't think all women have experienced that, but I think the women that are attractive and out there, trying to use men, they've certainly come across men who were willing to pay their bills, and take care of them just to get a little, sex out of them or whatever. And so that's why they look for that. They already know what the game is. They already know it's a transactional situation. Some of these women are out there solely for that. A lot of these women don't care about being in a marriage. A lot of these women don't care about that. There are some of these women who are just really just straight up, I want your money, what you want. Some of them are straight selling it. They really just look, I don't have time for the foolishness. I don't want to be in a relationship with you. I don't want this. I don't want that. You want what you want from me. I'm giving it to you. This is how much it is. You take it or leave it. There are women out there who are like that. They don't want all the rest of that stuff that men might be looking for. They just straight up trying to get to the bag, however they can get to it. And they serious about it. Those women, there's no changing them. There's no making them see something a different way. No, they are who they are, and they know what they want, and they don't give a damn about what I'm saying and anybody else. They're going to go for what they know. And as long as there are men out here who are willing to give it, then they're going to keep getting it. That's just it. There are women who just don't give a damn. They don't care about nothing I'm saying. They strictly, but those women, listen, you do you, whatever your life is, because I can't control what nobody else does. And I'm not trying to, but at least you could kind of respect the ones who say, look, who are not trying to play games, but the ones who tell you up front, look, this is what I want. You got it. Let's go. If you don't, well, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really just let you know straight up, I ain't about all this other stuff. I'm just about this, this, and that. You got this, this, and that. This is what it's going to cost. If you want this, let's do it, and then let's keep it moving. So there are those women out there like that, but I'm talking about more, those women, there's no changing them. They're set. Whatever they've been through. That's just what they're going to do, and there's nothing else to do about that. But for the ones who are out here wanting real stable relationships with women who are understanding and loving and all that, it's going to be a real challenge, because a lot of these women have been conditioned to think the way they think and to move the way they move. And they really, somebody told them, hey, this is what you should be expecting from a man, and you shouldn't settle. And that's just that. Even though they've settled more times than you can believe, and they will settle again if the guy is what they like. You know what I'm saying? So in real life, you're sleeping with pookies, giving them babies, taking care of them, helping them out, doing all that. You're contributing to a pookie who's not contributing to himself. But a man who is stable and saying, hey, let's work together, you don't want to work with him because he doesn't look like what you used to, and he's not the type of guy that you're used to. And he's going to have something to say. He's not going to let you walk all over him and just do whatever it is you want, because then now he's going to be labeled controlling, because you don't want a man who's actually stable and has his own mind. It's not going to let you run his household. You don't want him because he's not going to let you run over him. So you can run over Pookie, because Pookie ain't got shit. He ain't got nothing. All he got is the D that you like, and he look like you like, but he ain't really got nothing for you to, you run that. You run your show how you want with him, because he don't have one to run himself. So that's why that's like, it's like they're caught in between a rock and a hard place. Damn, you like Pookie, and he, oh my God, you can put it on you good. He got the swag that I like, but this nigga ain't got no job. So it's like, what do I do? I can't, the D can't pay my bills. So I need somebody who can pay my bills. I need him to level up, and you could have that baby for him. Let him see the baby come out of you, all this stuff, thinking that this is going to make him level up and see the importance of you and that baby. And they just won't see it until they're ready. And so this is why they be so hurt, because they're like, damn, I gave my all. I let this ninja live in my house. I tried to get him a job, gave him applications, hooked him up here, and he just don't want to work. All you want to do is sit back and smoke weed all day and put the pipe on you. And that was good for you for a while, until you struggling to take care of him. And then he going out and making other babies with other people. Now you're hurt and you're mad. But what did you expect? He didn't show you anything other than what he gave. That's who he is. That's what he's going to do. So they're in a rock and a hard place too. They don't know. They can't settle for the nerdy guy, the guy they never liked in school, because he's not their type, but he's stable. So what do? You don't want to really be in a relationship with him. So you just want to finesse him out his points, because at this point, Pookie can't help you pay your bills, but you want to finesse him, get his money, make him think you into him when you're really not, so he can pay your bills, do all this while now you can get his money and still sleep with Pookie peacefully, because that's all he wants anyway. So you can give him your time, get your rocks off, while this stable guy, you can lead him on and take his money and not really want to be with him for real. So they're in a rock and a hard place too. So I think men are aware of that. And because men are aware now, you understand the nature of women and how they move. There's no reason to be a super simp. There's no reason to fall for this foolishness. There's no reason to fall for the okie doke. You know better. So men are moving better. And I see it. I see men. And this is why the women are complaining, because they can't use these men the way they once did. That's just what it is. They can't use these men the way they once did in the past. I'm pretty sure they're sitting up wondering or reminiscing about the time when, remember when that nigga, I had him over, girl, I would have him come over, girl, give him a little, then tell him I need my rent paid. And I told him I needed money for my daughter's this, and I needed money for this. And that nigga gave me, 3 racks or whatever. Gave you the money. And girl, after that, I ain't talked to him for months, girl. And then when I needed something, I called him back, girl. And he was like, I miss you. And when you gonna wire you, you didn't talk to me in 3 months. And then you go and give him a little bit, and he back and give you the money again. When you call him up, when you need something, and that's it. And you got other ninjas that you do the same thing too. And you getting money, and quiet as it's kept, a lot of these women will get money from these guys and take care of another dude with it. Now, isn't that a slap in the face? See, this is the stuff that, as the sisterhood, you're not supposed to expose this. Women, this is the nature of a lot of women. They'll take your money and be buying shoes and clothes for another dude. What I mean, isn't that like that is horrible? They will do it. They will take your money and go buy this ninja be walking around with Jordans on, and that's the money you gave her. Just saying, it's not all women, but the ones who move like this is a part of their nature. Successful MD, thank you for the super chat. Successful MD says entertainers and professional athletes are the biggest simps and patronizing strip clubs. It's not for men to correct women. These are fully grown. They try to reform pookies, and surely they are aware of their behavior. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And the thing about it, men could sit down and talk all they want, and try to tell that no, they're gonna dismiss men. They've done it before. Look how bad they did Kevin Samuels and others. So you don't want to hear it at all, but you definitely don't want to hear another man trying to tell a woman what to do. But then when women are saying it, maybe they can hear it a little bit better, but they still don't want to hear it even then. But it's a little bit more tolerable when it's coming from another woman. But they really don't want men. This is why it's like, get rid of all the male podcasters. Who told them they could speak? It's just crazy. So, I think women talking to women can it's sort of like a woman talking to telling men how to be. I can't tell a man how to be a man. I'm not a man. That's for other men to correct men and try to get them, give them some advice or whatever. But I can't, I can speak from a woman's perspective because I'm a woman and I know how women think. So the best I can do is give the nature of women and let the chips fall where they may. So men who don't understand how women think, because women will show you one thing, but we all act in that way. We will say one thing and do something differently. That's what men don't understand sometimes. Women are very complicated. We're not just this one way. Women changed. We think and we feel. So if we're thinking and we're feeling all the time, we're going to think and feel all kinds of stuff. We're not just sitting back logical like men. And I think men also need to understand that as well. That's why I say, no, you got to understand the way women think. We're complicated. We don't sit. What's left is sometimes right with women. You'll say you want to go left, but you go right. You want to do this, but then you don't. We change our mind. We're very indecisive. It's a part of who we are. It's a part of our makeup. And we're very different from men. So you can't expect a woman to think logically like a man and move like a man, because we just don't. The same way women shouldn't expect men to move like a woman, because we're different and we don't think the same. So for somebody who thinks just like, who is a woman and knows how women think, this is, to me, how you get that information, because a lot of men have not been privy to this until we've gotten social media, and a lot of these women have been exposing themselves. But this is not new information. This has been going on for years. I mean, as long as I can remember, women have been doing these things. It just wasn't exposed on social media. Women have been cheating on men, cheating on their husbands, lying, having babies by other men, making the husbands think it's their baby, and the men just be so oblivious to the shit. It's ridiculous. It's mind-boggling how these men don't know. They walk around and everybody else know. Everybody in the family, everybody around knows, Ninja, that ain't your baby. Baby look nothing like you, but everybody know because she was creeping with other dudes and everybody know it. And then he's the only one that's sitting here unsuspecting, trying to do the right thing in that life of the child and with the mother trying to, and this woman is a whole hoe. And she been a whole hoe the whole time, and he somehow can't see it. Which make me think, look, I was wondering, like, because look, I'm from New Orleans. And and I know, in New Orleans, there's what they call hoodoo. So a lot of that goes on. I've heard many people talk about it, even in my family, talk about it, talking about how they put a spell on this or hoodoo. That stuff is real. It's real. So I used to think when I was young, thank you once again for the super chat, Successful MD. I appreciate you. When I was young, I thought, wow, that man must be hoodoo. That's what I used to think, because I'm just like, the stories I hear and what people are saying, and he don't get it, and he right there, he just sitting there, he's oblivious. Something ain't right. he ain't in his right mind. You know what I'm saying? That's what I be thinking. That's what I was thinking. Like, come on now. Everybody know this is a big hole. She done been fooling with all kind of men. While you going to work, you go work early in the morning, go offshore. You know how men go work offshore? Back then, that was a popular thing. I don't know if they still do it now. Probably do. The man would get up 6, 5 in the morning, you know, with his little briefcase and, you know, his little lunch or whatever, breakfast or whatever, lunch for his work. And dude come pick them up. They wore them little hats. I forget I don't know what kind of hat they were. And they go off and they going offshore to work, leaving. And then as soon as he leave, the other ninja shows up in there knocking boots all day, then leave. And then this man who been working all day come home. Yeah, back then, yeah, they'll have food for him. They'll cook food. They'll have the food for the dude. They'll make a meal, had a house clean. I mean, everything that a lot of men want now, a lot of those women would do it back then. But they were still hoes. You were still screwing somebody else. You had the man who was bringing the money home and taking care of the household. And then she was getting pregnant. And then you like, yeah, I got my baby on the way. And everybody looking sideways, looking at each other like, okay. Because they know that ain't your baby. But he don't know nothing. Oblivious and clueless. And then he find out years later that wasn't his child once they done broke up. Once he really realized, and he's heartbroken, he's distraught, he's horrified, petrified, he's mortified. And she's like, well, shit. You know, no remorse, no nothing for what she's done. She's entitled. Well, he didn't know that ain't my fault. It ain't my fault. He didn't know what he was doing in the bedroom. You know, this is you know, no type of empathy or nothing. No, you know, I'm sorry. No type of explanation. Just like, well, he couldn't please me. And how does he know he ain't pleasing you? See, this is another thing. This stuff goes deep. How does he know he's not pleasing you? Because you faking. You're not telling him. There's no communication there because you wanted to do what you was doing. You didn't say, oh, you know, honey, maybe we need to try something new in the bed. You didn't try because you didn't care. You didn't say, oh, well, you know, it ain't really worked for me. Let's try this. Let's do this. Because all it takes is a little communication to say what it is you like, or if something's not working, especially if you want it to work. If you don't want it to work, you don't give a damn. You don't tell him nothing. You lay there, you fake it, and you act like, oh, he's the best thing ever. So he think he putting in that work. He think he doing something great, and he's really not. And you're not satisfied. So instead of you communicating with him to help it get better, you just go and get you another dude and have him breaking you off in the household while that man going to work and fooling around and make babies and just mess over him like that. But nobody was but see, the sisterhood don't want to talk about that. The sisterhood don't want to address that because that would show how conniving a lot of these women were. That it's not all the men. People want to talk about, oh, all these men cheat, baby. As far as I can tell, a lot of women that I grew up around, they were cheaters. Hoes. Just saying. Some of them had husbands cheating on them. And the niggas never knew. And then he turned around and find out and he cheated on you. Oh my God, he cheated. But you want to talk about her cheating? Oh, just brush that under the rug. Oh, she cheated. Oh, whatever. Oh, but he cheated. Oh my God. Why would you do this? Oh my God, he's just a scumbag. I'll never forgive him. Like, come on, you did the same thing. You did the same thing. And it's not always that revenge cheat. Like, oh, he cheated and then you cheat. No. They be cheating the whole time. But yours is justified. And to me, I think it's nasty work. I ain't gonna lie to you. I am not for the cheating. I don't care who it is. I think if once you're married, you should be faithful to your wife and you should be faithful to your husband. I don't believe in this cheating stuff. I don't think it's justified on either side. I think if y'all have issues and you have differences, y'all need to work that shit out because that's what it's for. That's what marriage is about. Work it out. I don't care what it is. I don't believe in cheating. I don't believe in going outside of your marriage and saying, you know, making excuses for it. No, if you know you the type of person that you don't think you could be with one woman, then don't get married. Vice versa. If you're a woman that you ain't past your whole phase and you're gonna have a itch to go out and sleep with somebody because that's what you're used to, don't agree to marry a man. I don't care how tempting it is and how much money he got or whatever, how much you think you can use him. It's not right. Stay in them streets where you belong. If you itching to be with Tom, Dick, and Harry, and Ray, and Pookie, and Charles, and Henry, and whoever else, stay there. Stay there. Don't commit to somebody when you know you're not really committing to them. Don't agree to a marriage where it costs for you to be faithful and to honor that person, and then go out and defy that by just sleeping with whoever you want anyway. No, keep your ass single. Stay single. Stay single if you can't be faithful. I don't understand that. I don't understand how people get married and knowing they still gonna cheat. It don't make no sense to me. It really doesn't. Stay single. That way you're not making any vows to a person. You're not committing to nobody. If you want to be hoish, you can do that. That's your life. That's your choice. But nobody else has to be involved with that. You don't have to answer to anybody else. Nobody else. You have to hurt anybody by doing that. Just stay single and sleep with whoever you want to sleep with. But I don't understand the whole point of getting married. And then look, I remember one time somebody my husband worked with was getting married. They were getting married. And he was telling me about them, getting married. And then the dude was like, yeah, I'm getting married. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, tell him congratulations. He's like, oh, he said, yeah, he get married, but guess what? He ain't gonna stop cheating. I'm just like, well, why are you getting married, sir? Like, it just takes away from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? It's not a good thing anymore to me. It's like, oh, so you getting ready to get married, but you still gonna cheat. I ain't gonna stop cheating. Well, why are you marrying her? And she was cheating too. So they must have had an agreement. I don't know. So maybe they had an agreement where they say, we gonna get married, but we still gonna cheat, right? It's okay, that's cool. All right. What's the point? I don't get that. I don't get it. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Check this little clip out, you guys.
Expect a man to make $300,000 a year or more.
I know I have 4 kids and 5 baby daddies. But honestly, does it really matter? I mean, I constantly get asked, what do you bring to the table? I mean, look at me.
They need to date me. I know my worth. I don't eat at food chain restaurants. Do I look like an Applebee's chick?
Yeah!
Say it with me. Out of your league.
and guess what? Look, she using that filter and she's trolling because that's how those women sound. That's how they sound. Like, I can't eat at these chain restaurants. Oh my God. I'm so above these ninjas. These average men are just, oh my God, they can't take, baby. They want to give the bare minimum, child. And you walking around thinking that you're everything since sliced bread, 4 babies, 5 baby daddies, walking around here broke as all outdoors, but expecting all this from these men. This is insane. Let me play this other clip for you guys. Check this one out.
Real shit. Because if guys start treating women the way women treat men, am I wrong for that? Because if I decide I don't want to talk to a girl because she don't make enough money, am I wrong for that? If I don't want to talk to a girl because I feel like she works a retail job that's beneath me, am I wrong for that? Like, let me know. Do I gotta start asking girls how much money they make prior to me talking to them? Whatever car they drive, if they drive a fucking Toyota Camry, I don't want to talk to her. Like, am I wrong for feeling like that? Because women treat us like that all the time, bro. Oh, he don't got a bag. He don't got X, Y, Z. I'm not about to talk to him. Am I wrong as a man now if I start deeming girls like that? Because I ain't gonna lie, a lot of these girls is broke out here.
Facts. Facts. A lot of them are broke, but they don't care. See, it doesn't matter when a woman is broke, but it matters if a man is. And unfortunately, we're not living in traditional society, right? We're in a modern world, right? Where women can work, they talk about how much they can make. So now you shouldn't expect a man to pay everything. I say that over and over and over and over because it's true. And yeah, there are a lot of these women who don't have any money. And that's why they want the lifestyle from y'all. They want it from the men. They want the men to come in and provide the most that they can get out of them. And they don't want to do anything in return. So it's like, what's the point? This is why men are saying hell with it. And to his point, if men start, which I think part of the solution would be for men to start treating the women the way they treat them. Oh, they're going to call you sassy. There's some consequences associated with it, but it's okay. Because we know that that's just a trauma response. We know that that's just them responding because they're mad that they're not getting their way. And as much as women bash men for real and really talk down on black men, you have to ask yourself, why are they still expecting men to do all these things? Why are you still looking for these very men that you say don't have anything? They're dusty, they're bottom of the barrel. Why are you still expecting men to provide you this lifestyle then? If you didn't think that they could provide it, you wouldn't even be expecting them to do it. But for a group of women who keep saying men are at the bottom, y'all are still expecting these men to pay for the dates, pay for the meals, pay for everything. What you've already said they're dusties and they're at the bottom. So why do you even still try to date him? Why are you expecting anything from him? If I assume that you are a bottom of the barrel and dusty and I don't want you, I wouldn't be expecting anything from you. But they still are. They still are. They still out here trying to date, still trying to find a man to pay their bills, but still have these superficial ideas of what a man is supposed to do for them. And now that men are doing it, some of these women are getting desperate. Some of them are acting out of desperation. They're actually doing things now because they realize, hey, time is running out. Time is not on your side. And so some of these women are starting to say, you know what? Okay, whatever. I'm just trying to get me a man because they realize this is the ship is sinking. Some of them realize the ship is sinking, but they don't, they still kind of delusional about it. They still kind of like on the fence, like, should I settle or should I not? So it's getting to a point now where some of these women are realizing, the errors of their ways and they're trying to fix it. But a lot of the men are still skeptical and cautious about dealing with these women. I'm going to drop the link if you guys want to give your 2 cents on the topic. You don't have to be on camera. You could be off. You could have a picture on your avatar. And if, just in the back, flash your background just so I know that it's real. But I'm going to drop the link if anybody want to come up and give their 2 cents, y'all. And then I'm going to wrap this up. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button as well. Hit the like button for me. I'm going to just go ahead and put the link here. If anybody wants to come up and give your thoughts, go ahead and click the link. I've shared it. Make sure y'all hit the like button, y'all. We got 144 people watching with only 116 likes. Go ahead and hit the like, y'all. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. So I'm going to go ahead and pin the link. If you want to come up, you don't have to be on cam. I realize everybody don't want to be on cam, but you have to have an avatar on and you have to have a picture up. Successful MD says, can you settle while already at the bottom? No, you going to settle for being at the bottom. That's what you're going to settle for. You can settle for being at the bottom. That's what you're going to settle for. Because you're at the bottom. If you're at the bottom, if you're at the bottom, what are you settling or are you just accepting what you can get? Thank you for the super chat, Successful MD. I appreciate you. So overall, to me, the solution to all of this is, you play the game the way it's being played. That's one option. The other option, continue to go your own way. Don't even bother with these types of women. That's another option. Um, I mean, really, that's it. I mean, you don't, you know, do your own thing. Do your own thing. If you keep running into women who are only trying to play games and finesse you, and that's not what you're looking for, don't even entertain it. Don't entertain it, or you can entertain it as long as you know what you're doing. But while entertaining, don't let it be. Don't be at let it be at your expense, because that's going to show you the real intentions of a lot of these women as well. Because, like I said before, any woman, and people could say all they want, oh, well, this is not back in the day. This is not, old school dating. Listen, dating is still the same, still same process. Yes, we're in a newer time. People have just become more superficial and more entitled. That's it. But the same dating, the way you date and the way you talk to people is the same. It's not rocket science. Successful MD says, can we get some ladies to join the link? Thank you for the super chat, Successful MD. I appreciate you. So yeah, it's the same. It's not rocket dating. To me is not rocket science. I don't care what time we're in. We're in modern times. So of course things have changed. It's not quite the same. But overall, the way you interact with a person is the same. It's you go up to a person, speak, how you doing? Nice to meet you, or and you sit down and you have a conversation. That's still the same. You got to have a conversation. It's just the way people think is more superficial and more entitlements, and they've already been there. It's just that it's more exposed, and now social media and reality TV and all of these things have made women more delusional, and now and the fact that they've made some more money, and they're educated and went to school, they really think now that somehow they're better, and that they can demand more, and men should just adhere to the things that they want and the way they want it. Kaharo, is that how you say your name? You got to put a picture on your avatar. Black, bring it all to me. Your device is not connected, so you got to make sure you have an avatar on your picture, and also black. You got to connect your device. It's not connected. Did I say your name right? Is it Kaharo? I can't hear you. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. What's the question?
Do you have two devices on? Because I can hear myself in the background.
Oh yeah. Well, I got my gaming computer connected to this, so yeah.
So I just want to get your thoughts on the topic.
So the top, what's the topic? I just got in here.
So we're talking about solutions on what the solutions are for men in dealing with today's modern woman, what men should do and how men should respond to the way women are these days.
I feel like first off, a man should like focus on his purpose, because when you focus on your purpose, the right one to come. Me, I dealt with like a couple modern women, and I just learned like to just like stay away from them and just work on myself. I feel like you should know yourself as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and two, don't pay attention to what these modern women say. Pay attention to their actions, because their actions speaks louder than their words. Because anybody can say, "Oh, I want a good-looking man," or whatever, but then they see a thug that's their type, they're gonna go for him. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they should focus on their purpose, and they should know what they want. They should know what they're looking for in a person. You know what I'm saying? Not just don't go for the looks, but go for how the person treats you. Because a lot of times, yes, we're very visual, but at the same time, looks ain't everything. And I feel like that's the problem. Like, we go for looks so much, and then we forget about how the person treat us. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like social media made everything is so superficial, to the point where like you got to go for the best of the best, and a lot of times the best of the best as far as looks wise ain't the best for you. But I can take a 6 and she'll be a 10 because how she treat me. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's what they should do. They should know themselves, know their purpose, and they should know what they want and not settle for less. That's all I can say.
So, and you're speaking to the men? Men are the ones who should do that?
Yes, men are the ones should do that. You know, because a lot of times, like I feel like too, like you shouldn't date. How can I say it? You should date based on your level. Don't date to try to get somebody up, because you date to try to get somebody up, then they may leave you. You know what I'm saying? Like I see a lot of times where men build up women, women leave them. I see a lot of times where women build up a man, men leave them. So I feel like you should date based on your purpose, and you should date who you want and what you want. Don't just date because you horny or whatever. You just want to get your beans off. Date with intention. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of people date based off of being horny and not date with intention. And that's why things are the way it is. And I blame the parents too as well, because a lot of kids have not been brought up on how to be a wife, how to be a husband. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so me, I got a little sister. Well, I ain't gonna talk too much. I'm gonna let y'all talk, but I got a little sister, and so I'm trying to teach her how to be a wife, because me growing up, I didn't have a dad teach me how to love a woman. I grew up with a single mom,
right?
And so I learned from my mom on how to treat a woman right. You know, and my mom tell me too, like, don't get with a woman that have kids. Like, get with somebody that don't have kids, because you know it's your own legacy. You know,
right?
So yeah, I mean, I know I went all over the place, but I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, you answered it. Have you ever dated a woman with kids?
I tried, but I figured like they focus on their kids too much, so like it wasn't no point. So I was like, okay.
Why did you try? Was she a nice person?
Yeah, she was a nice person. It just like she was so busy. Well, I ain't gonna say I dated her, but we was talking. She got so busy and we lost contact, and so I was like, you know what? I ain't gonna deal with no one with kids. So yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, you answered the question. You want to stick around or put some other people up?
Oh, I'll stick around. I mean, you can ask me all the questions. I mean, they want to talk, they can talk. You know, because I like to listen to understand people's point of view. I don't like to do all that talking. So
gotcha. Yeah. So, we'll go ahead and post somebody up. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Hustler Complex Design. How are y'all? How y'all been?
I'm doing good, D.
Good to see y'all here. What's your thoughts, Hustler?
Hey, what's going on, DeeDee? There's an echo.
I can hear an echo.
Yeah.
Kaharo, you got to mute because there's an echo on yours. Go ahead, Hustler. I think he did it.
All right. First of all, salute to you, DeeDee. Keep doing what you're doing, and please don't retire from this unless you have to. And second of all, as far as how to deal with modern women, give them what they want. Well, I can tell you, we can give them what they want, but it ain't gonna solve anything, because when we give them what they want, guess what? They want more. Give them the world, they want the galaxy. Give them the galaxy, they want the whole cosmos. So I've come to the conclusion that there is just no pleasing, some women. And to piggyback on what the other guy was saying, yes, we do need to stop getting with women just because they look good on the outside. But let's face it, we're men, we're visual creatures. We only approach the females that, we find attractive. The only problem is you can't just go by what you find attractive. If she's all body, no personality, or she's got a good body but a horrible personality, then what the hell are we talking about here? I also tell men, you have to move accordingly to your environment and move accordingly to the kind of woman you're dealing with. For example, you're at a bar, a club, or a gentleman's club looking for a relationship or a marriage should be the last thing on your mind. Focus on having fun, and whatever happens, just happens. If you're dealing with a female that's not relationship qualified, either one, leave her alone, or two, move accordingly. She wants to be of what they call a free spirit, then you move accordingly. Let her deal with other men, and she's gonna let you deal with other women. So yeah, you have to learn how to move according to your environment and according to what, you know, move according to how she's moving. Don't be that guy that's just waiting for her to you know, come to her senses and realize you're the good man for her. No, I don't take too kindly to that. And also don't take too kindly to people getting married just because it's convenient. Like, you know, I'm tired of being single, or you're a man and you want your pee-pee satisfied every now and then. I'm tired of watching other couples walk around and I don't have anybody, so I'll shack up with someone just for the hell of it. Well, when you put yourself in that situation, guess what? The woman gets the benefits. Why? Because as a woman, what do you get? A man to fix things around the house, help you pay bills, you know, things you're supposed to do as a man, fixing things, lifting things, you know. What does a man get? A sexual companionship. And if she's not giving him that, then what the hell are we talking about? Seriously, why should I shack up with you if there's no sexual investment, if there's no access to you sexually? I'm wasting my time and my efforts. I got to deal with a female that's only with me for convenience, and I can't even get my benefits out of it. So no, I don't believe in that. But yeah, that's just my take on the whole thing.
I hear you. Complex Design, what's your thoughts? And how are you?
Hey, DeeDee, what's up? How you doing? It's been a while.
Been a while, right?
I was just busy as hell, and then like my shop damn near burnt down a couple days ago.
What happened?
Yeah, somebody decided to set fire to like some tires that were sitting out in front in the middle of the night. I made a little video about the shit, but yeah. So I just dealing with things. But you know, no, it's all good. It's part of what comes along with this crap, right? But no, I was just, you know, working and listening, and I was like, you know, it's been a while, and I got a few minutes, right? Okay, there's a few points I want to hit. I would say, if you're talking about modern women, you know, I would also have to say that there has to be a modern man, right? There has to be like the match to that, right? Modern woman, modern man, right? So, you know, to men, the question becomes like what have you done to modernize yourself, right? Now, you're not women, right? So what they do to kind of fit themselves into positions of society today and how they move, it's fit for, say, the modern times, right? So then my question for men becomes, okay, do you view yourself in some sort of modern capacity? And I'm not saying that to say that you should do that because they view themselves as modern women. What I'm saying is that you tool yourself up because things have changed. You get what I'm saying? You know, you can't really be concerned about everybody because everybody's not concerned about you. You have to be concerned about the people who give a damn about you, not the people who despise you. One of the dangers of a lot of like social media conversations and what have you is that it's done for provocation, not for problem solving.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so we have to kind of like dig a little bit deeper. We got to think above the issue. The other thing is that, you know, I never hear like compatibility talk.
Right.
Right. I mean, there's what you hear is transactional negotiations. He's got to have this amount of money and then fit these requirements. And the guy says, okay, well, she's got to be. And I'm saying that's literally not the basis upon which people build like a damn family or anything like that. But I guess if you guys think it works that way, sure. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, actually what it is compatibility. And this is largely what women struggle with because they're stuck in two worlds, right? They're stuck in a reality TV world, right? And all of what Hollywood tells them that all women are supposed to aspire to go after and chase after, not taking into consideration like what is actually compatible with you, right? That's a whole other conversation that really has nothing to do with media. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, people aren't exactly existing in the realm of reality, but what they try to do is they try to emulate quote unquote reality TV in all facets. And social media has now become the new reality TV. These panels are the new reality TV, whether you know it or not.
Well,
Okay.
they need to listen more to this reality, because
Well,
what
that's yeah.
what they're listening to is not working. And it's like you keep trying to do the same thing over and over and over, but you're not getting the outcomes that you're looking for. And that's why I talk on it. I'm like, listen, if that's what you think, that's what you think. Because y'all have heard me speak enough to where I'm like, look, do what you want to do, because I can't control your life. I can only control
Exactly
what I do and what's going on over here. But a lot of times people a lot of times what I want to say, I forgot what I was going to say. People don't want to hear a different perspective. You don't want to hear something else because you really think that what you're doing somehow is going to manifest you a different outcome, and it's not. And you keep getting the same thing over and over and over. But then you're just getting mad at people as if you want somebody else to make it a reality. You're not looking at yourself and the choices you're making and how that plays a major part in what you're getting. Like you just, it's almost like, oh, I could screw up and then just erase that and say it's your fault. It's your fault.
Well, DeeDee, here's the interesting thing about that. So what happens here is that social media enables this because you can get up here and you highlight clips of this stuff all day, every day. Okay. You highlight clips of the utter ridiculousness of what people will literally get out here, show their face and say in the face of common sense and decency and all that's fair and balanced and whatever else, right? And what you'll have is you'll have a whole bunch of people in the comment sections and what have you supporting it, validating it. And so what it does is that it basically reinforces the person saying this crazy shit that I'm not crazy, because there's a whole bunch of people who agree with me, and it never occurs to them that they're just as crazy as you. Right.
And that's why
and so this is where you get, I mean, some of this, say that again.
I say that's why I say they're delusional.
Oh yeah. I mean, like there was for a time there was this Queen Maker chick, right? That was around.
Oh yeah,
She was going viral or something, rather, right?
Yep.
And I was just like, I literally, this was for me, it was like a social observation experiment, right? I was just literally just like, this is amazing how you can have a person this batshit crazy, like people take them seriously. I'm like, oh my god, like what the hell is going on? Like it's you know what I mean? It's like we're at a time where we're kind of being called upon to use our intelligence. You know, like seriously, it's like the era of being the dumb Negro. Like you got to can that.
Right.
It's not sexy.
Right.
It's not.
But but that's why I call it a delusional mess, because the things that the things that aren't logical or just you could clearly see there's a bunch of BS, people gravitate to that more than what is logical and what makes sense. What makes sense is now, oh, that's bashing. Oh, you shouldn't be saying that. But what doesn't make sense, they it's like they grasp it and they run with it and they just believe it. And even though even the person telling you this don't have the results that they're telling you that you could have, but somehow people are inclined to go that way. It's mind-boggling. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I still don't get it.
They're like, we're Gen Xers. When I grew up, there was a whole saying, the proof is in the pudding. Right. So it was sort of like you had to show and prove what you were. You couldn't just talk shit with literally no validation or nothing to prove what you're saying. All right. And so that's like one of the red flags for any content creator for me is if they have like some sort of position or a talking point or something that they stand on, and then they don't, like, outside of making content, it's like, wait, so your life doesn't reflect this?
Right. But
You
you'll be
know, like
surprised how many people
yeah.
do this and their lives don't reflect what they're saying.
And they don't reflect it.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Okay, well, D, hey, I just wanted to pull up. It's been a minute. I had a few minutes, you know,
Thank you for
so I
being
wanted to put
here.
it on the conversation.
Well, thank you. I
Oh
appreciate
shit! Did
you.
I run everybody off? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to run everybody
No,
off.
I'm about to wrap up. No,
Okay.
no, you did good. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for being here. Take care. Hopefully I'll do some more of these, child. I don't know, but
Don't worry. If you do, I'll check in.
all right. Thank you. I
All
appreciate
right. You have a good one. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Successful MD says they make time for what they want. Yes, children are not created in the microwave. Also, they definitely have time for girls trips. Have standards as a man. Exactly, successful MD. I appreciate you. Boulevard 73 says I don't like modern women with their Grand Canyon cookie. I'm married for 15 years. Shout out to you, Boulevard 73. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Let's see. Straight for getting up there. How you been? What's going on?
I'm okay. How about yourself?
I've been good.
It's good to see you. Good to talk to you.
Good to see you up here. So have you been watching the clips or whatever? Or did you have a thoughts on the topic per usual?
I mean, it's unfortunate that here we are in our most technological age when people can communicate from South Beach, Florida, all the way to California in real time. And it's just unfortunate that a lot of us are just taking whatever little delusional scraps that people throw and they run with them across the board, and they speak the same language, as in their, and I would probably say in their most demanding years, as far as, they have the youth on their side, they have the opportunity to work and build to get to a better space, and everybody's just looking for a handout. It's like a lot of women are beggars, they're professional beggars. And if you don't give them what they want when they're asking for it, then they're going to shame whoever. It's just unfortunate that, I don't know, this message is going to the young women and young men who haven't had a chance to get out here and live life, and they already coming into it sort of, apprehensive about, I guess just growing and building families. And it's really, I don't think they really see what's coming down the pipe real soon.
Right. Well, listen, I thought of you honestly. When I mentioned the migrant situation. Instantly, you came to my mind because I remember you saying, and this has been a while back before it hit the fan the way it's hitting now. Where you were saying the migrants are coming, they taking you said it. I remember you saying it, and I'm like, here we are now. It's happening, and things are looking different. And now, I don't think a lot of women who are, still on this single trip or they don't need a man, or how I don't think they realize how this may affect them in a negative, in a negative way. We see people out here people be homeless, living in their cars and things like that. I mean, I'm seeing people living in storage units and things like this. They can't afford rent. And here we are with this migrant situation where you see, look, they're putting them in apartments and things like that. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, it's a change. It's happening. Like, and I remember you saying this before it even got to this point. I remember that.
Yes. And
here it is.
I don't know, again, where you live, they may be building a whole lot of new apartments, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even with the apartments that people living in, they pretty old. Their rents are double from what they were 4 years ago. You need $10,000 more to live the same life you were living just prior to COVID. Mm-hmm. And these new residents that are being built, the regular I guess a lot of the single poor Black people, they can't afford them.
Right.
Even with you, they can't afford them. And a lot of their children, and I think this is going to happen even more. A lot of their children, you know, as they age out, if you notice, women have those stair-step children. They 8, 10, because 18 years, age out. I got another few years. I can almost go 30 years of getting benefits for my children. By that time, I'm almost 50, 60. Now I can look to my children. Mama took care of you. So now I can, you know what I'm saying? Now the children are sort of obligated into taking care of the parents. And it's going to be very unique to see how after the next election and going into next spring, how a lot of young adults' living conditions play out. I think it's going to be a lot more people on the streets. They've actually, and people, and this is not, the Olympics are coming here in 4 years, right? So pretty much everything in California, they've gotten rid of the homeless. Ain't no more homeless on the streets. They cleaning that up. So a lot of that is going to happen all over the country because now you have dignitaries, you have very important people who are going to be coming here with money to invest in these cities. It's going to be a lot more people coming with money. They're not looking for loans. They're coming with cash on hand. It's going to factor out a lot of regular working people because everyone refuses to work together, but damn it, they all fucking sleeping together. Excuse my language. They all getting it in, and the kids are dumb as hell. So if you have a small child between the age of 8 and 12, it would behoove you to find out what the Olympic sports are going to be and teach your child some of these Olympic sports. It'll change your life. Other than that, you're going to have to learn how to pitch a tent because this is going to get real slim for you. Whether y'all believe it or not, it's coming. So it's happening. Appreciate you, Ms. DeeDee. It's always a pleasure. Listen, salute to the husband. Keep doing your work. We need it. It's Friday. Women, men, take a bath. It is a requirement, not a trend. Take your musty self and sit in. Thank you.
Same old Ferg. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Take care. Boulevard 73. Thank you for the super chat. It says DeeDee, it's crazy in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn with illegals. Oh my God. Yeah, it's I'm seeing the videos. I'm seeing people talk about it. I'm seeing people complaining about it. It's you know, it is becoming an issue, you know. And so it's just interesting to see it all unfold and how, you know, this is going to affect, you know, everyone in this country, you know. So it's a lot going on, but it just, you know, and I think a lot of people don't realize how this is going to affect us and how it's going to affect individuals. You know, all these women who are single with kids, you have kids that you got to take care of, how this is going to look on you if resources are being taken away from you, given to other people. What's that going to look like? You know, see, when that starts to happening, you'll see a lot of these women who are claiming to be boss chicks and, you know, don't need no help and don't need no man and all that. You can do it by yourself. That's when that start looking differently. That's when you realize, oh snap, like I do need some help. And I've been probably was getting help the whole time, you know, but this notion that a lot of these women are doing so great and you can do it all by yourself. You don't need nobody, but you have kids to take care of. That's not something that I think anybody should be boasting about and pushing forward and making it, because it's not a good thing to have to handle everything by yourself. I don't know why they think that's supposed to be something to aspire to be or do. No, I think it's better when you have two people working together, you know, and hell, if you have a big family, I don't see anything wrong with your family working together. You know, other cultures do it. They have a whole bunch of them living in one house, owning salons and businesses, and they all there pitching in and working and building that together. But we seem like to be the only group of people who like to separate and individualize ourselves and then be struggling by yourself. I don't, I don't see anything wrong with a family building a big house together, and y'all all live in that house, and y'all all, contribute and making it work, because you're better together than separate, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. My goal actually would be to build a big, mansion, and my whole family, and then they, all everybody in there, and then they bring that their husbands and their wives, and everybody live together, everybody work as a community. But a lot of people aren't, unfortunately in our community, we're not raised that way. We're not taught to work with each other and everybody work together. Everybody want to break off and do their own thing, and then when they're struggling, they complain about it. Chavez, I think I'm saying it right. An illegal ran over a cop in St. Louis on I-70 recently. The guy was caught. Unfortunately, the cop didn't make it. Oh my God. Jesus. So what did they do to the guy? Did he get deported? What happened? Did they arrest him? And what happened to the illegal? This is crazy. It really is. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. That is crazy. And that's, see, I mean, we can't work as a community because that requires hierarchy. If everybody wants to be the boss, there are no workers. Exactly. Rich people are the biggest consumers of illegals for labor. Wow. This is why equality never works. That's crazy, y'all. Hustler, I'm gonna let y'all up for a second, y'all, but I'm about to wrap this up. Bro Thomas, how are you?
How you doing?
I'm good. What did you want to add to the conversation real quick?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I just want to say it's good to see you again, DeeDee. You're doing the good work. The only message I really want to put out there to everybody, especially the brothers. I'm getting a little echo here, but that's all right.
Go ahead.
Is that brothers, you all got to come together and come together under nationhood.
That's it? You want to say anything else? Can you hear me?
Nationhood is the answer to all of these problems that you're looking at. And we're coming to the day and time where we're going to have to do that.
I got you. Anything else you want to say?
That's it.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Take care, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hustler, any final words, Hustler?
Yeah, I want to add this in here real quick. So I just think it's crazy that you got all these women out here who make this amount of money. They can need a man for this, that, and the third, but girlfriend or wifey treatment, from a man. It's like they sometimes they got this, that, and the third, but they expect the man to have more and do better. I ain't got a problem with a man probably having more than a woman, but the thing is, what kind of woman am I trying to surpass? If I'm superior to you at something, are you going to treat me with the proper respect that a superior person deserves? Because if the answer is no, then what are we talking about here? Because you've seen some females who get around men who are better than them at something, and they still show contempt and show disrespect and whatever the heck. They still want to talk to them any old kind of which way. So it don't make a lot of sense to me to want these things, knowing that you're not gonna, appreciate what he's bringing to the table and appreciate this, that, and the third.
But you know what?
Yeah, I think women should get out their high horse when it comes to that kind of stuff.
And I think that comes from.
Than you, are you going to appreciate a man that's better than you? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I think you got a point, because I've seen situations where the men made substantially more than the woman, and she still disrespected him, still talks to him crazy, and they end up breaking up. So it's not necessarily just the money that's going to make you become these feminine, just respectable women. No, that has everything to do with your personality, who you are as a person. Like if you're just a nasty person, then you're just going to be a nasty person. It doesn't matter who you come in contact with. It don't matter if he makes a lot of money. It don't matter if he makes less. It don't matter what it is. If you are just this person who thinks that you supposed to have your way and you don't matter and you want to run things, then it's going to be an issue no matter who you get into a relationship with. This is why you have women who are in relationships, who've been in relationships with men with money, and they couldn't make that work. They still left because they couldn't deal with it, because you couldn't have your way. You couldn't do what you wanted to do. That man had some standards that you were not willing to deal with. So you end up by yourself anyway. So it doesn't matter how much money he has, all that. That's BS. A bunch of these women be lying and just want to make you think that so you can give them a chance, so they can get a chance to take from you. And when you say no, then you really see that their true colors. So it's not about the money. It's about you as a person. Have you worked on yourself? Do you know what it is that you want? What are your expectations from a man? What are you looking for? So yeah, you got to come to the table with the right mentality, the right mindset. You just can't jump in there and expect men to just do whatever you want them to do. No, because that's never going to work. And that's what they're seeing. Boulevard 73 says, I work for NYC Transit. The migrants are everywhere. Not good. Lord have mercy, Lord. Yes, Lord. A relationship shouldn't be a competition for superiority, but a whole meeting of whole making two separate into one unbreakable unit. Exactly. I agree with that. I think that's what it's all about. It's not about you being entitled. It's not about you being perfect or coming to the table and one, in like a competition. When couples are competing against each other, it becomes an issue. It's like a power struggle. Who's going to win? Who's going to be, get their way? Who's going to call the shots? Like who's going to fold? Who's going to be up here and who's going to be here? And usually women are the ones who are pushing or fighting for some type of power, some type of superiority, because they feel less than. A lot of women who have been in relationships with when they didn't have a lot of money, or if you ever pay attention to what women say about their past relationships, when they talk about being in a relationship with a man who had the money and they didn't have the money, they felt little, they felt slighted. And not necessarily because the man was they're telling them every day, you ain't shit, you ain't this, you ain't that, because I got the money. Not necessarily because he's there telling them that, is they automatically feel less than because they can't call the shots. They can't make the rules. They have to follow them. And this is why when you hear women say, oh, I want a leader, I want to lead, they don't really want that, because a man who leads means he's going to lead in every way and you're going to have to follow. And what we find all the time, a lot of the times, is women don't really want to follow a man's lead. This is why they're so focused on this idea of I have a degree and I have something that you don't, or I have a business and I make this much money. This is why they lead with that, because it means a lot to them. It means that they're the boss. It means that they're going to call the shots. You're going to follow their lead, because they felt insecure at some point in a relationship where the man made the money. This is why they say, hey, I've got my own, so a man can't put me out. Because either they've been in a relationship where they felt like he had all the authority because he had more and she had no say so, she had no type of anything, leverage. So now women are the ones who are successful and they have these things, they use that as leverage. That's like leverage to them to say, hey, I'm one of you, so I'm in control. You can't do nothing over here. Like, you can't tell me what to do. You can't lead me because I make more money. I got my own house. I got my own this. And that's fine. But now they're realizing that men don't want women with those attitudes. It's not usually women are the ones who have the biggest issues with everything and have the attitudes. And so they project that onto men. So they think that if a man has more than what they have, he's going to want to be controlling. he's going to want to do this and do that. Usually that's not the case. When men know that they've been expected to have things that because they're the ones who's supposed to create and take care of a family. You know, and there's this thing going around where they're talking about single women own the most houses. Yeah, because women want to do that. They have the kids, so you need to have a house for your kids, honestly. And then the ones who don't, that's their leverage. I already have a house. I already have this. There's nothing you can give to me, so I don't need you. But they still want a man. That's where I don't need you, but I want you because I have everything that you could possibly want to give to me, and it's mine. So you would have to come into my ish, and you won't have to follow my rules because I've already created my lifestyle. And so that's what it is. But they realizing men don't want that, and men don't want it because they want to like belittle you. No, it's the man's job, and they still expect men to protect and provide, but they want to do it in their way. And that's what the problem they're running into. You know, you still want a man to pay all, you want him to come into your house though and pay all your bills and take care of your kids and all of your responsibilities. But if he already has his house and he already has his stuff established, they say they want that, but then they apprehensive about going into it, to the point where you have some women saying, hey, we could get married, but we can live in separate houses, and we can, you know, because you don't want to hear what he has to say. You don't want to feel like you're less than him. And so this is where women are. And this is why a lot of them will just be single, because that's not that type of mindset is not conducive to happy, stable relationships or marriages. So they are boss chicks. They make their own money. They pay their own bills. And that's just how it's going to be. Because most men who are stable and have their own is not going to let go what they have to go. See, women don't want to listen to a man, but they want men to listen to them. You don't really want to follow a man, but you want him to follow you. And any stable man with his own mind and got morals and values, he's not going to go follow a woman. He's not going. You shouldn't be going live with a woman and fall under her program. That's just not how men move. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, you guys. I'm gonna hopefully next time I'll come up and let you guys up, but I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Garudo Legend says, DeeDee, you're right. It is basically the feminist defense ideology when they hate the patriarchy and bitter. The kicker is they don't make good wives wearing the pants that often. Right. Yeah, definitely it makes sense. Makes sense. If you got to have this, and that for a box, you're validating. Stop that. Thank y'all for being here, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Hopefully y'all can join me next time. I'll come up and maybe open a panel up for you guys to come up, but I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this. I gotta get out of here, wrap this up. Thanks to everybody who joined, who came up. I appreciate y'all. Also, for everybody who gave super chats or cash apps, everybody who liked the stream on your way out. Also, make sure you continue to support the channel by watching the videos already posted. Like them and share them if you can. And hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new content, you guys. So that is it. I got to get out of here. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all stay tuned for more. Y'all be safe out here in these streets. Enjoy your weekend, you guys. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Mwah. Bye.